Hi everyone, I'm Kashmala Khan. I manage the growth, operations, and demand solutions for Huawei Ads. For those of you who don't know about Huawei Ads, we are an advertising platform with a user reach of more than 700 million users globally. We serve as the bridge for Huawei device and Huawei mobile users. And we have a proprietary tech that facilitates our third-party app developers in terms of monetization, but also we work with advertisers and agencies on the demand-side solutions. So it's exciting. My topic of choice, of course, is AdTech. We cannot not talk about tech when it comes to media marketing and communications. So what do we mean by AdTech? AdTech refers to advertising technology. Of course, we love acronyms, so we have to shorten that. It's an umbrella term for the various types of analytics and digital tools, all serving the purpose of getting the advertising campaigns to an individual or a specific target group. So at the core of it, AdTech is built on technology. It plays a pivotal role from design to deployment. And again, there's a lot of changes happening in the AdTech environment. So what does 2022 have in store for us? I think anyone who's in the AdTech environment, things change every 6 months. So you can't really predict as such. And it may seem fruitless to make predictions. But while many industries have been affected, AdTech has remained resilient. So here we go. My first prediction, or thought rather. The transformation of the AdTech industry. Any change in an industry standard causes a messy but a positive period of innovation. And this is where AdTech finds itself right now. There have been an explosion of new solutions based upon technical specifications and business models. And this has led publishers, brands, agencies, and tech platforms scratching their heads as they try to understand what to use. And rightly so, because the main goal in the AdTech environment is to assign you an ID, right? To recognize you better when you visit different domains and personalize those ads presented to you. So those AdTech companies that have been relying on this business model through third-party tracking with cookies are going to struggle. Possibly may become redundant. Don't want to be cancelled here for saying that, but they'll have to change their strategies significantly. And they need to be forward-thinking, or they'll get acquired through a merger and acquisition, which again is another thing that's happening a lot this year and will happen next year. Which reflects the relative maturity of the AdTech environment and commoditization. Another shift we're seeing in AdTech is how AdTech will merge with marketing technology to create a holistic view of the customer journey, so online and offline. Now, if I see an ad anywhere for a brand, and I go onto the app or the website for that ad, but I actually end up buying a low-value item at a physical store for that same brand. The brand with disparate AdTech and MarTech systems may not be able to differentiate or link these online and offline interactions. They may even struggle linking the off-site and the on-site interactions. So the ad that I saw and the app or the purchase that I made, and the app that I visited. But having said that, there is a shift. AdTech isn't going anywhere. It's only going to rise. The global digital advertising revenue is expected to grow at an annual rate of 11.3%. It's going to surpass the 600 billion mark globally. And next year, we're going to see that surpass 500 billion. So it is an upward trend. And with 76% of the population in this region, using the internet, we have much work to do in the ad tech space to continuously innovate. My second prediction, audience platforms. AdTech is heavily pivoting towards first-party data ownership. We talk about data way too much, but it's true. And what that means is this situation is creating a divide between industry players, those that are data rich and those that are data poor. And of course, with that, we see a rise in audience platforms. But what do I mean here is those platforms that have owned and operated media. And as a default, they have really strong data sets, rich data sets, first party, making that platform more valuable, more attractive. Publishers are in a strong position because they can build their own versions of the walled gardens. They have authenticated audience data, which they get every time a user logs on to view their content. And for advertisers, well, advertisers with large customer databases availing themselves of the opportunity to match their own data with the rich, unique data sets that are owned by publishers or media owners is a safe and effective bet in a market with a growing scarcity of quality audience intelligence. So with the right tech partnerships, we're going to see media owners, publishers, and advertisers talking a lot more together. And the ad tech is there to facilitate this process. Value exchange is really important here. Your users need to understand that they are giving their data when they're opting in, and in return, they're getting ads, because they're going to get ads regardless. It's how you educate them on this process. Third, this is my favorite topic. I'm a big advocate for programmatic, starting my early career in programmatic, the move towards automation. Programmatic uses machines and algorithms to automate your media buy for advertisers, for data-driven marketing. And for publishers, it's a monetization tool to give them the effective highest yield. Programmatic is actually the leading method globally in all the major regions: US, UK, Europe, China. Programmatic adoption rates are over 80%. And we're lacking a bit in this region, thanks to the reports that we've seen from IAB, GCC, and everyone that was involved to make that happen. Programmatic adoption rate in this region is 20%. For display advertising, if you exclude social, because this region is great, using social immensely, more than the mature markets. But there's a lot of room for improvement to automate and make programmatic, allow programmatic to make our campaigns more efficient, our operational processes more efficient. The rise of self-serve platforms. I was in a discussion earlier and was told no one wants a margin-heavy managed media service. Everyone wants tech. And so we're going to see a rise in self-serve platforms. Why is it important? Well, tech that's easy to use and is transparent in terms of costs. It also allows smaller brands to compete with companies that have larger budgets, right? It creates a fair level playing field. And so programmatic ad tech for SMBs is a rapidly rising trend in the advertising industry. It's opening up a whole new dimension that's been largely inaccessible for smaller brands. And we at Huawei are doing a lot in that front, from our initiatives and competition for app developers to help them grow and enrich their apps. And from the advertising side, we have a feature we call Venus, for example, where a brand can upload an image, customize the look and feel, create a landing page URL with a click to action, free of cost. And that's how we support the smaller clients, the emerging clients that are coming into the market. Measurement, of course, is key. Greater efficiencies in targeting and tracking from DSPs allows marketing managers, because marketing managers are striving to get the best out of their budgets, right? It's moving your ad spend towards measurable and the most profitable acquisition channels, allocating your investments into the platforms that are driving the best ROI. It's all about ROI, meaning if you put $1 in a specific acquisition channel and you get $2 back, you're going to double down on your budget, right? Well, yes and no, because you need to stay on top of your users' minds. You need to acquire those new customers. Creativity becomes really important. As much as we love looking at the numbers, and it's great because the platforms allow that, we need to look, or marketing managers need to look at the creatives. Is your ad appealing? Is it grabbing the user's attention? And attention is the most critical metric of all. How many of us remember ads in general? And so don't lose the creativity when it comes to measurement. And so we're going to see next year more outcome-based metrics that allow for quality interactions, allowing to take the top of the funnel interactions that lead to the bottom of the funnel conversions. Incrementality. My fifth prediction, and I want this term incrementality to be a buzzword for next year, my point of view. We always have this mantra, the right consumer at the right time, in the right place. We always say this, but we need to get this right. And if you're overwhelmed by the cost of the major tech companies that are out there, then there are all these other marketing platforms that are providing surprisingly cost-effective ways to reach, engage, and convert new customers. AdTech vendors are going to be seen as partners. You need to embrace change rather than being afraid of it, even if this means picking up the phone and listening to a new sales pitch. We've had a very famous saying, don't put all your eggs in one basket. I've heard it a lot, and there's a reason why they say that. And I'll give you an example. Let's say I've managed to save 100K in my bank account. Don't ask me how I did that. And it doesn't matter what currency. But I've saved 100K in my bank account. Now, if I'm an investor or a trader, or I have really smart friends, I wouldn't just leave that in there. I want to generate ROI. So I'll take 30K out and put it into real estate, into property. It's a mature market. I know, my family know, my friends know about it. I know people who have made profit and have invested through this way. But I also know it's costly. There are maintenance fees, service fees. You also need to make sure you have good tenants if you put it on rent. I have another 20K in the bank and I'll put it into the stock market. Now, stock market, I am uncomfortable with. I don't know. You need to do a lot of research for it to be in there. And I'll split that 20K into 5K and 10K to minimize my risk. So I've got 50K left in the bank. I could put that in another channel if I know there's another way of making more money. Chanel bags are a great investment. It's nice to have one, but it's good to know that when the going gets tough, I can make a profit. I sound like an economics professor, but I have a point with this story, and that is diversification, right? If we are smart enough to diversify our own portfolio as investors, Why are we not doing that with our company's ad budgets, with our ad budgets? I wouldn't take 80% of my savings from my bank account and put it into the stock market, because if it crashes, I lose that, most of it. So why are we putting 80% of our ad budgets in one platform? So diversification is the key here, and marketers who are striving, are getting the most out of their marketing dollar by putting them into these channels, but haven't yet experimented with anything in terms of incrementality, are going to do so in the next year. I know. Mobile. Everyone probably thought I was talking. Every year is a year of digital out of home. Every year is a year of programmatic audio. Every year is a year of CTV. But I want to take a step back. And all of those platforms are right. Those are emerging platforms. And they are coming. And AR. But I want to take a step back and talk about mobile. We need to have a mobile-first approach. Most consumers use phones for a significant portion of their shopping, browsing, entertainment. And the more a mobile phone is getting even smarter with every new release, there is less reliance on desktop. We need to compare mobile and desktop. And companies are ensuring that their services, sites, and ads are mobile-friendly. Most videos, if you've noticed, are now filmed in an upright position for what's called a vertical video, which is great for mobile viewing and really engaging for a smartphone user. And in-app, just a show of hands, how many of you have used an app for your shopping, be it food or retail? Okay. Second one, how many of you have used an app for gaming? Okay, thank you. Everyone, everyone has. App consumption has increased tenfold in recent years. And I am seeing how like a mobile device has a unique device ID. Right, so when a device ID is opted in, it has a 21-month shelf life, which is 630 times more than an average cookie on the web. At Huawei, we have our own identifier. It's called OAID. But we can't forget the growth of in-app. M-commerce and gaming. Gaming was mentioned before as well. And rightly so, because gaming is booming. So we need to utilize opportunity in the in-app environment. Gaming has a really valuable value exchange, and that is watch an ad and get your life back, or get 1,000 coins back. Rewarded video has high completion rates. So really utilize a mobile-first advertising platform that allows all these channels within an in-app environment. I just want to I've got a minute left, but I've seen previous speakers talk about this. I thought I'd be the only one. But there's an evolution of media that we know of from previous generations. The print, radio, television, the invention of the World Wide Web with the internet, phones that were only used to call your loved ones, and then the smartphone. And suddenly, every way that you could consume media could be done on this one device. You could call it a super device, right? Because you're doing everything on your phone. And when it comes to content, we're seeing content on these different devices, and then we're seeing that squeezed into this tiny device. And when it comes to advertising, we're seeing ad formats that were built for the desktop world, legacy advertising or AdTech platforms built for the desktop world, and all the nuances and problems that came with it were suddenly just squeezed into the mobile environment. But when you look at it this way, the evolution in a linear way, we need to stop looking at it this way and revolutionize with this. And that's looking at the smartphone at the center of your daily life. Smartphone is your primary device. It's your, well, let's say, super device. And then you have your supporting devices. You can connect your phone to your speaker, to your TV, to your laptop, PC, and then you have third-party networks. We call that the Internet of Things. Internet of Things, of course, is the future in a couple of years, not just next year. And when it comes to advertising, work with AdTech partners that have a mobile-first approach, and the rest comes with that easily. Final thoughts. The reality is this industry never stops. What works today might not work tomorrow, but you have to continually test, adjust, learn, and test again. And it will be the most agile and adaptive brands and publishers who are going to thrive in the next year and the following years. We do have a Huawei Ads Booth should you have any further questions. And with that, thank you.